Alright, we rolling? This all... We'll see how it is. Let me... So, I should say right off the bat, I might have completely broken the stream this week. I was messing around with some stuff as we get into things. And, I think it works? Question mark? God, I hope I didn't fuck up everything. No, Okay, I do have audio. I wasn't sure for a second there if I did. No, I do hear it. Okay, so we're good on that front. We're good there. I guess I should split our intro. So, we're checking out Echoes of Wisdom. I am not playing through this whole game. I want to be very clear right off the bat as we jump into things tonight. I'm not playing through this whole game. We're just doing the stream tonight. We might check out a little bit more next week, but that's it. I have no plans, right? We're taking control of Link here to get us started. Yeah, no, I have no interest in doing this entire game. That's just... We did Tears of the Kingdom, we did Breath of the Wild, we did Link's Awakening like 2 weeks ago. I know that would be all the motivation to be like, well, why aren't you playing the new game? Because I don't really want to. I'd rather... After Breath of the Wild... Specifically, after Tears of the Kingdom, specifically, I kind of realized that I want to spin... I'd rather... For a game I really, really enjoy, I'd much rather have my experience off-stream. Sure, there are some good moments that I'm glad I was able to do on-stream. I'm trying to do a bomb and an arrow at the same time, kind of like Link's Awakening. Right? There are some cool moments on-stream that we were able to do. And, like, yeah, I'd love to preserve those reactions and those cool moments. But at the end of the day, it's not really... For Tears of the Kingdom, I felt like I had a better experience with that game. Comparing Tears of the Kingdom to Breath of the Wild, I felt like I had a better experience with Breath of the Wild playing it off-stream than I did Tears of the Kingdom playing it on-stream. Sure, there were a lot of cool moments in Tears of the Kingdom that I'm glad I got on camera. You know, we did a lot of fun, dumb shit. But there was just something special about it that I kind of... Part of me thinks that I like Tears of the Kingdom less because I had to do it on stream. And, you know, it's that whole thing about making games into your job. And some people have no problem with that, right? Some people, right, playing whatever the new game is their job. That's just not me, though, right? I would much rather... Again, looking back at the past year, I think I had more fun playing these games off-stream and being able to enjoy them in my own time. That just, in general, got more enjoyment out of me. At least in theory. So that's kind of like Echoes of Wisdom we'll check out tonight. We'll do the opening, you know, kind of like what we were planning to do with Astrobot, where I was going to check it out because it was the new hit thing, and then we just never actually did that. That's kind of the idea tonight. Oh, we're going to check out Echoes of Wisdom because it's the cool new hit thing. But that's kind of it. You know, maybe it'll show up at the end of the year in the Game of the Year award stuff, because we can do that, but even then, I still fully expect to just do Astrobot because it's easier to do 2D platformers. Okay, I know Astrobot's a 3D platformer, but you get my point. So here we are, fighting the main man, Ganon. God, he's 3 hearts. Hey, it's tennis! Oh wait, I'm bad at tennis. I feel like I've actually always been bad at tennis. I don't know, we did it in Link's Awakening a few weeks ago, and that went... That went. I'm waiting here so I can get control of Zelda. Because, you know, we were going to do this opening sequence, obviously. We're going to fight the Demon King. So, my theory already off the bat. So, obviously, this isn't going to work, right? We know Ganon's spear is going to sink into the darkness. Link's going to be pulled into a rift or whatever. My theory... Yeah, look at that. He knows. He knows that we failed. My theory is we fail here because it's not the Master Sword. Only the Master Sword has the power to seal darkness. Only the Master Sword has the power to kill Ganon. We fail here because that's not the Master Sword. That's, I don't know, some blue bow and blue sword. Right? We clearly have a matching sword, bow, bomb set. That's why we fail, because it's not the Master Sword. Oh, I'm supposed to... Okay. So, right, you get my point. That's... I'm going to guess maybe that's part of Zelda's quest, that at some point along the way, we're going to find the Master Sword, and then either Zelda's going to pull it herself, or Zelda's going to fight Link, because we already know she fights Link and steals his sword. And it looks like we're stealing his hood right here. So my guess is we're going to find Link, defeat him, make an echo of Link, and then that echo will be able to pull the Master Sword. And then we use those echoes of Link to defeat the final boss that is Ganon. That's just my prediction right now. I think that makes very logical sense. Alright, now we've got the escape sequence. You know, another thing that surprised me, they did not make this Zelda design into an amiibo. Why? We have a Link's Awakening amiibo that basically uses the same Link design as it does in this game. Why did we not get an Echoes of Wisdom Zelda amiibo? Because that little Zelda is adorable. Chibi Zelda. I would have loved an amiibo with her holding the staff in the hood, and I'm assuming this is Tri that we're following. So, right, with a little Tri-Fairy, kind of like the Rosaluma amiibo. That would have been really cool. But nope. Nintendo, right, they did 4 new Splatoon amiibo, but not a new Zelda amiibo. Speaking of which, I just knocked over one of the Splatoon amiibo. Oh, God, I'm sorry. So, as we get into things, we are doing this on Saturday and not Friday, and there's a very specific reason for that. Specifically, Minecraft Live. Minecraft Live was today. I did kind of watch it. I don't know, today was my day off, and I kind of slept in, and I woke up to the notification, hey, Minecraft Live just started, and I was like, oh, wow. Okay, I guess, yeah. I watched it. I wrote down a few things, and so we'll talk about that, and that's the only reason we did this on Saturday. I will say, here's another story that I can do before we actually get into things. Getting this game. So I went to buy this game on... it came out on Thursday, because now, for some reason, Nintendo games now come out on Thursday. I mean, getting them a day earlier, I guess I'm not really complaining. But I went to pick up this game from Best Buy, because I usually buy games at Best Buy. That's just kind of, you know, where I get games. I used to do Target, and then Target fucked me over one too many times. I actually used to do Walmart at one point, because Walmart used to have games for $10 cheaper. But that was a whole other thing that they no longer do. Target fucked me over one too many times. And now Best Buy has fucked me over one too many times. So Best Buy's problem, when you order games to be delivered to you, because I'm still a physical gamer, right? I still highly believe in physical games. It's why I don't like this all-digital future that Xbox and PlayStation are forcing upon us, because I fully believe in physical games. Unless it's a game I'm going to be playing every day, like Animal Crossing or Splatoon or something like that, I don't really care for physical games. Or I don't care for digital games. Ugh. Digital games just aren't my thing. Again, with those few exceptions, of course, indie games are a whole different story. Like that. But, right, so I wanted a physical edition of this game. I bought it. And now, with Best Buy, most other, like, I feel like if you buy a game on Amazon, they'll ship it out to you a day or two before. I bet GameStop probably works the same way. They'll ship it out to you a day or two before, so that way it arrives to you on launch day, right? So, like, let's say the launch day is the 20th. They'll ship it out on the 18th, so that way it arrives at your location on the 20th. Of course, that does create problems of, games showing up a little bit early, and I know, right, game companies hate that and whatnot, but that's small potatoes in my opinion. Best Buy, though, Best Buy is, the game's launch day is on the, 20th. They ship it to you on the 20th, and it won't get to you until, like, the 22nd. I learned that the hard way with Tears of the Kingdom, right? Tears of the Kingdom, I think I bought at Best Buy, and I had it shipped to my house, and it took until that Sunday to actually get it. And so that's where I was like, okay, I'm never shipping a game from Best Buy. I'll just go pick up in store. Picking up at Best Buy has its own complications, but that's another story for another time. At least for some of my other problems. For today's problem, though, it's like, okay, now that Nintendo has shifted games till Thursday, Best Buy just isn't... They just didn't do it, right? Like, okay, the game now releases on Thursday. No, they didn't have it ready on Thursday. I was like, okay, I was expecting it... Because usually they send an email, like when Astro Bot came out, because I also bought that at Best Buy. They just sent me an email like, hey, your game's ready to pick up. Come by, right? And, like... I basically went by once I got off work, right when the store opens. Not for this game. They were like, nope, they basically sent me an email that morning being like, hey, we're getting your order ready, right at, like, they sent it out like 6 a.m. Okay, nothing, right? My order will be ready once they open. Never got ready. All throughout the entire day, and then at the end of that day, so it was Thursday, at the end of the day, I got an email being like, your order is not ready today, right? We'll try to get it to you at the earliest convenience. And I was like, fuck that. So I just canceled my order. Yep, fuck Best Buy, fuck that. Right, if you can't get it to... Right, I specifically pick up in person, so that way I can pick it up on my way home from work. I don't have to worry about these stupid delays. If you're gonna fuck me over, then yeah, fuck you. I'm done with Best Buy forever. I mean, I bought this at Target. I went back to Target because I was like, fuck that. And the Target and the Best Buy are like right across the street from each other. But yeah, no, I'm like I said, this isn't the first thing that's happened. This is the straw that broke the camel's back. Where I was just like, it's all you have to do is get it to me on release day. I'll pick it up, right? Pre-orders don't mean anything, and I'm sure if I had just walked into Best Buy, they would have just had a copy sitting there, like, on the shelves. But nah, like, because, yeah, I don't do pre-orders, I don't do GameStop, right? You see all these fancy games that have their, look at our little pre-order bonus, it's a diorama. Here's our little pre-order bonus. It's a tote bag. I don't give a shit about any of that stuff. That's all trite. Also, I noticed the two guards, right? The guard and the girl are named Right and Lefty, right? They're the king's right-hand man and left. I noticed that while reading their dialogue. That's so funny. That's good. I hadn't realized that until just now. Oh shit! I completely forgot I had that fan on. I was trying to figure out why the lips were moving on their own. I completely forgot to turn off that fan. Because it's really... Even though it's October in, like, 3 days, it's so fucking hot here, man. Like, oh my god. Like, we had good rain for, like, a few weeks, but the rain's now dried up, and it's just hot. It's just fucking hot, man. I mean, the rain will come back. It always does the first week of October. But, yeah. So, yeah, that's my Best Buy story. Fuck them. I guess it's back to Target, or there's no local, like, mom and pop video game shops nearby, so they're kind of out of the picture. I'm already trying to escape. Right, it's one, fuck Walmart, fuck Amazon. Not that they've, like, personally slighted me, because the only reason I was going to Walmart is because they had $10 off, and now they don't anymore. That was, like, a post-COVID thing that they did for, like, a year or two, which was nice, because it meant that a good chunk of my Switch library, I did not pay full $60 for. But that stopped, I think that stopped around the time Tears of the Kingdom came out. No, maybe it might have been earlier than that. Maybe it was when Kirby came out. Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. I don't know. It stopped at some point where they were doing it for a while. And I see all those discounts on, like, Wario64 on Twitter. It's like, oh, you can use Woot for, like, $10 off or whatever. Which I'm pretty sure Woot is just Amazon's Temu. But regardless, that stuff, so I don't really trust that stuff. And Amazon I don't want to deal with. Right, I'd rather pick it up in person. Alright, so now that we're actually getting into things, we are, of course, this is still in chat. We are still going to be talking about things tonight. So, what are our news stories? Sonic Central was this week. It was on the 24th. I watched the highlight reel. Good enough. Honestly. I don't know, I've seen some people being like, oh, this is really cool, it was a great Sonic Central. And I've seen other people be like, nope, this sucked. So, yeah. So we got Sonic Central. On that same day, later in that afternoon, there was a State of Play. I did watch it. I did react to it. That's up. It was not streamed. It was just, I recorded it on my own, put it up on YouTube. So you can go find that, my reaction to it. It was very whelmed. We got Assassin's Creed Shadow was delayed. I just want to talk about it for some reason. And then, of course, we have Minecraft Live today. So, of course, I do want to talk about that. It's the whole reason I delayed the show another day. And then, of course, we're going to end off with WIBE. I'm sure I have stuff to talk about. I'm sure I wrote something down somewhere. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. Maybe we'll put a little bit of time into this. I'm pretty sure there are dungeons in this game. So I would love to at least do, like, the first dungeon today. That'd be nice. Of course, it looks like we're starting off with the stealth section here. Because, God, we're back in Wind Waker. Actually, no, this is more of an Ocarina of Time thing. It's still so weird. Wind Waker is a good Zelda game. It's not my personal favorite, but it is a good game. But the fact that it starts with a stealth section as, like, its first major dungeon is so weird. I don't know why they made it that way. Instead of making, like, the first dungeon, like, a tutorial dungeon or, whatnot. It's a stealth section. Now, admittedly, it is neat when you get to go back there the second time and just destroy everything. But that's the second time. So yeah, that's all our news stories, so let's actually just jump into things. So Sonic Central was on the 24th. The one thing I was hoping for was we were going to get, like, more clips of the movie or something like that, because, I'm excited for it, right? Like, when we talk about Minecraft Live, we did get a new clip from the Minecraft movie, so I was kind of hoping for, like, an extended clip from the Sonic Central. That would have been cool. That's not what happened. Instead, what did I write down? I guess, so the few things I have written down is, I guess Sonic is coming to Topgolf. They're doing a Topgolf collaboration. Topgolf I actually kind of like. Like, the only way I can describe it is it's like bowling, but with golf, right? It turns golf with, like, not the score system of bowling, but, like, similar, like, that's what it feels like to me. Topgolf, it takes everything I like about bowling, but puts it into golf, which I have a very complex history with golf that I do not want to get into, but that's neat, I guess. Okay, you know, that I know there was an Angry Birds thing at Topgolf, and now that Rovio is owned by Sega, I guess that makes sense. So we got that. We got Sonic is doing a DC Comics crossover. We kind of got hinted about this earlier in the week. I feel like there was an image of Shadow the Hedgehog dressed as Batman that got shown off recently. So, you know, we got some more of that. We found, of course, Sonic is the Flash. God, do I remember? I'm gonna have to. I'm pretty sure Amy was Wonder Woman, but other than that, I cannot remember any of the other characters. Knuckles was Superman. Tails was Cyborg. Silver was Green Lantern, and of course, yeah, Amy was Wonder Woman. Okay, that makes right. Admittedly, I think of Sonic more like more as like a Superman type, especially if they're making Shadow Batman, which Shadow as Batman makes sense. But if you're gonna do that, like, I get it. Flash is the fastest thing alive. I get Sonic, right? There's a very, like, even the Sonic movie makes that comparison. But Knuckles as Superman? No. Tails as Cyborg also kind of like whatever. Amy as Wonder Woman is a very obvious one. Like, who else are you going to get? And Silver as Green Lantern I think actually fits. Like, his, like, whole, like, psionic powers thing or whatever his detail is. Like, I see that obvious comparison. I don't know, will this be good, or is this going to be like the Ruby DC Comics crossover? Literally anything is possible, but that's a thing. Why do I have Topgolf on here twice? I'm sure I had something else written. We did get a behind-the-scenes look at Sonic 3, right? We get a little bit, not too much, not anything like major or new. It was just there. I think they showed off a little bit of Sonic Shadow Generations. Yeah, that comes out, I think, next month. I want to say it's in October. Sonic Shadow Generations. Yeah, October 22nd. It's near the end of the month. But that is a thing that, you know, exists. I don't know. I know some people are really excited for it. In theory, I'd love to give Generations another shot. Because while I did like it, I personally enjoyed Colors more. And I feel like I might enjoy Sonic Generations on a second playthrough more. To be fair, though, Colors I enjoyed less on the second playthrough. Because I just think Sonic is kind of inherently flawed. That's just kind of how I feel like it goes. But no, that's a thing that exists. And yeah, that was kind of it. Like, there was a few other, like, crossovers and whatnot, but nothing that really stood out. Nothing else I clearly wrote down. I was just kind of whelmed, right? Like, I wasn't, like, super disappointed by it. To be fair, I expect nothing. Most of the time, these Sonic Centrals suck. Right? They're just, oh, here's the new showcase. Hey, let's show off the new thing. They're usually nothing special. So yeah, this one, also nothing special. So yeah, so to say I was whelmed is probably the best way to put it. This was a show that existed, that I watched. Okay, yeah, I mean, okay, I didn't even actually watch it, I just watched the highlight reel. So, I mean, I guess on that hand, I'm glad I didn't watch it, because I totally could have just wasted my time watching Sonic Central, and that was a thing that existed. So yeah, I don't know, how good can can a show be that couldn't even entice you enough to watch it? 4 out of 10. Okay, that might be a little harsh, but yeah. A show that I did actually watch later that day, though, was the State of Play. Right? We knew there was when the PS5 got revealed, what, last week, 2 weeks ago? we knew that there was going to be a state of play. That, hey, PlayStation had to show off their new games to kind of justify this thing's existence. To be like, hey, here's the cool new thing you're going to be able to play on PS5. And of course, we did see the PS5 during this showcase. But yeah, we knew... So the one thing we knew going into this was Horizon was going to be there. That got leaked last week, that we were getting an updated Horizon port. Okay, we expected at least that. Nothing else here, like, I was really like, oh yeah, I'm holding out for this. I mean, again, earlier in the week, I had listened to Blessing at when the Horizon thing got leaked. I watched Kinda Funny Games daily, and I listened to Blessing talk about how he wanted more Ghost of Tsushima stuff. That Ghost of Tsushima is so good, and Horizon gets all the love from PlayStation, right? There's two mainline games, a Lego game, a VR game. In comparison, right, Ghost of Tsushima doesn't get nearly as much support. Of course, Horizon gets all that support because the first game in the series sold like 24 million units. Compared to like Ghost of Tsushima, which I think sold like 8. Still good numbers either way, but I get why PlayStation is pushing Horizon so much, right? I see why they're like, yeah, let's make a Lego game. Because to an extent, Horizon is kind of PlayStation's family-friendly franchise, right? All these other ones, Ghost of Tsushima, right, God of War, I guess Spider-Man, yeah, Spider-Man is as well, but Spider-Man's also owned by Marvel, so that one's a little bit more complicated. But, right, of the modern games that PlayStation is making, Horizon is the one that can kind of appeal to everybody. At least until Astrobot, which now, Astrobot, well, appeals to everybody, and I think Astrobot does a better job at it, right? Astrobot is a much more marketable character that I really hope Sony leans into, because it's a really good game, and it's really fun, and it deserves all the support it can get. Will PlayStation actually give it that support? I have no idea. But it's a really good game. So, right, us getting our Horizon remastered makes sense. Of course, PlayStation immediately fucked it all up by then taking the original Horizon. So, if you had bought a used copy of Horizon Zero Dawn, it would cost you maybe $20 at most. Yeah, since this announcement, PlayStation is now charging $40 for it. If not more than that. 40, right, I just know they doubled the price of it, basically overnight, because now they're going to have this new remastered edition. Yeah, and game companies do this all the time. Anytime a remaster edition releases for a game that's already on that system, they usually delist the old one and only sell the new one at that increased $60 price. Like, I think when The Witcher Remastered came out a while ago, that's exactly what they did, right? The Witcher 3 got a remaster, or got an upgraded edition for PS5, and they took the old edition and, like, doubled the price of it. That's sadly just standard industry practice, and of course PlayStation's just as guilty about this as anybody else. And yeah, so, I mean, like, on one hand, I'm glad I already own it, because, yeah, fuck that. And, you know, again, this is physical editions. If PlayStation's going to charge $40, $60 for the new and enhanced, potentially up to $70, for this new upgraded digital PS5 edition, just buy a used copy, which you can get for like $20, if not cheaper, and then just pay the $10 for the upgrade. Yeah, no, that's much better way to do things. So that's the Horizon stuff. Other things in the showcase, Astrobot. We know we're getting Stellar Blade and Helldivers, both of which, you know, make a lot of sense to be here. Right, they're kind of the two big PlayStation's games this year. I wonder if there's a Concord one. I seriously do wonder if if PlayStation had gotten Team Asobi to do a Concord DLC skins, and right, those were already in development, plus potentially might come out still. And the only reason, right, we haven't gotten anything from them so far is because of, you know, all this thing. There are these Astrobot Concord stuff. I can almost guarantee you it exists, and it's never going to see the light of day because of all this controversy. Or, you know, maybe it will see the light of day because PlayStation kind of has nothing to lose. right? Like, they've got that secret mode episode coming out in, December. Maybe if you're going to do Astrobot, just do it around that. So that way you can be like, oh, it's a tie into the show that, you know, we probably spent a lot of money on. You know, because that secret level show is also going to have a, PlayStation All-Stars thing. Which PlayStation All-Stars does get referenced in Astrobot. And honestly, I've seen some people say, like, hey, now that Astrobot's so successful, they should make a new PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale. I wouldn't go that far, because that game does suck. But if Astrobot becomes the new PlayStation All-Stars, I'm all aboard that, right? I honestly think it does a better job. At least that's my opinion. Oh, the bed's just flooding in water. Okay, that makes my life easier. So yeah, we got that. So even though there was no... So there was some stuff in... So even though we got a Sonic Central earlier that morning, for some reason in the PlayStation Showcase, they also showed off some Sonic Generation stuff. Specifically that it's getting a Keanu Reeves voice pack DLC. That basically, for one, Sony is actually taking advantage of their movie tie-ins. And Sonic X Shadow Generations will have a movie tie-in that, you know, will have a Keanu Reeves voice pack. That's actually, in theory, that's really cool, but it's also kind of like, oh, okay. I mean, at least they're doing something, because I find it kind of weird. Like, I know movie tie-in games used to be a thing, but as time goes on and video game movies are getting better and better, I feel like video games are kind of distancing themselves from their movie. Because right back in the day, you'd get, oh, hey, look, the Chronicles of Riddick movie came out. Here's this really cool video game you could play along with it. Or, more likely than not, you'd get the opposite case, where you'd get this really cool movie and just this absolute shit video game. It happened all the time. Yeah, no, I'm kind of surprised that, right, most of these game companies just don't highlight it. Right, like, the only company that really seems to do that anymore is the fucking Lego games. Right, at least for a while, whenever there was a new Lego game, whenever there was a new Lego movie, there was some sort of tie-in. And that was always, you know, that was kind of neat. So I'm surprised, right, they don't take advantage of it more. And, you know, Nintendo doesn't release, like, a Mario game to tie in with its movie. But no, that's not what they did. But hey, we're getting some sort of tie-in with the Sonic movie. That's cool, I guess. We got Midnight Walk, which is made from the developers who did Lost in Random. I remember hearing good things about Lost in Random. I remember hearing it was pretty decent. It had some flaws, of course. But, you know, it was an EA-published indie game. So that was cool. And yeah, it looks good. It is a VR game, but you can play it in non-VR as well. So, right, if you want that VR experience, it is totally there. But if you don't want that, then you don't gotta worry about it. That is good. I like that. Hopefully, right, because, like, I talk about the FNAF VR games, and one of the weird things I find about the FNAF VR games is that they usually sell a non-VR mode, and, like, the non-VR modes is just the normal games, right? Because at least the first Help Wanted was it had, of course, it did other stuff, but it was mostly a remake of the first 3 FNAF games. Like, that was one of its big selling features. Whereas, like, this is, like, an actual, like, game. Completely independent. But it's cool that we're getting a non-VR thing as well. For, you know, because not that many people have a PSVR 2. They recently released that PC adapter, which, I mean, hey, it'll let you play Half-Life Alyx. Let's see. We got Metro Awakening, new Metro VR thing. This might have already been announced. I don't know. Again, Half-Life Alyx seems to be the gold standard for VR games. I wouldn't know. I've never played it. But I think, like, if anyone's gonna at least try to do something like that, Metro's not a terrible choice. I could see them pulling that off. We got Alan Wake DLC. It's called The Lake House. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with, Control. Like, I know in the game Control, there's, like, this agency of, like, unnatural phenomenon or something like that. And that kind of seems to be what this is taking influence from, right? You're in, like, this lake house, which has, like, this underground bunker, which is run by that agency, and you're kind of exploring that. Okay, that seems kind of interesting. We got Dragon Age The Veilguard, a game that comes out next month. At least I think it comes out in October. That people do seem to be really excited for, right? I don't know. It's one of those ones where it's like, I can't tell if the complaints are real complaints, or if they're just those anti-SJW DEI assholes who, you know, just use their buzzwords when they use their buzzwords even though they clearly just want to say the N-word. Like, we all know it. They know it, especially. They know it. They think we don't know it when we know it. But yeah, I can't tell if that's the problem with the Dragon Age, or if it's actually got some real problems. I don't know. I've heard... I honestly couldn't tell you. My guess would be it's a mix of the two, but I mean, after the Ghost of Tsushima stuff, which we'll get to, you never know, because rampant racism is still well and alive on the internet. I mean, that's a given, but yeah, still. We got some Legacy of Kain stuff. So, right, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reavers 1 and 2 is getting a remaster. And I heard somewhere that this is also coming to Switch. That, right, it's on PS5. I guess it's also coming to PS4. Because we're still getting PS4 games for some reason. Right, we are, what, like 4 years out? Or at least we'll be 4 years out in like a few months. And yet we're still getting PS4 games. I guess that maybe that's just the difference between how Nintendo does things and how other gaming company does things. Because I feel like usually you do like a year and then you fully shift over to the next console. Unless you're like Just Dance or something like that. That was making Wii games well into like 2020. Whereas, right, Nintendo, the second their new console comes out, they'll drop one last game and then they'll completely abandon the old thing. Right, for the GameCube, they dropped Twilight Princess, and then that's it. The GameCube was completely abandoned. More or less. Right, the Wii U, they dropped Breath of the Wild, and then it was completely abandoned. I mean, it had already been abandoned by that point, but, you know, it's just one last thing that they promised. The Switch 2, right? Metroid Prime is obviously going to be the thing, and then the Switch 2 will be, the Switch will be basically abandoned by Nintendo. Maybe not, of course. You know, Nintendo might always keep supporting it. But I kinda doubt it. Oh, they were selling a Death Stranding jacket that completely sold out. Holy fuck, that's a lot of money for a Death Stranding jacket. That actually sounds... There's this TikTok I saw recently that was like, the only thing men really want is a really cool jacket. And like, I kinda get that. If I'm being... Like, I had a jacket in high school. It was my father's. But we found it while cleaning his closet or the attic or something that he hadn't worn since high school. And I was like, oh, that's my jacket. And I wore that for like a year in high school before... Yeah. But it was a cool jacket. But God, yeah, $1,700. Holy shit. And the fact that it's sold out already, my gosh. Yeah, I'm not going to be talking about all the Tokyo Game Shows going on right now. There was a big Death Stranding 2 presentation literally while we were talking a few hours ago. At some point today, I didn't watch it. I've never played Death Stranding. I should at some point, because it's one of those games that I have heard is good now, right? Kind of like anything else. It got good eventually, or people realized it potentially was always good. I'm not entirely sure. I'll get around to it. I don't think I own it, but there is a decent chance that I might actually own it. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know, there's a way I could check, but I'll do that later. But yeah, we were talking Legacy of Kain. Hey, guess what? That might also be coming to Switch. It sounds like that's coming to Switch as well. That's cool. Again, it's a game that I've heard of before, but I've never actually played. And then I saw the skin in Astrobot, which, like, if you interact with it, it turns the screen blue. And I was like, oh, that's neat. And now I realize, like, oh, shit, I get that reference now. Look at this, it's a little fire, chew. Or they're called Zoles. Are they always called... I guess chews are the lanky ones. Whereas these are called Zoles. Fire Zol is cool. I like that. Oh yeah, we're gonna burn this all up. We got Pal World. So Pal World is coming to PS5. I don't think it was a day-and-day release. It might have been, honestly. I kind of don't remember. It's been a few days. But I thought Pal World was already on PS5. I guess not. It is now coming to PS5, though. Unless you're in Japan. Because I guess, because of this whole Nintendo lawsuit, which we talked about the Nintendo lawsuit last week. Honestly, the more details we find out about it, the more I want Nintendo to lose. Obviously, Nintendo's not going to lose this lawsuit because they're fucking Nintendo. They have lawyers that rival Disney, and they've actually never lost a Japanese lawsuit in their history. Every lawsuit they have filed in Japan, they have always won. So I don't, even though, you know, supposedly they only patent, the thing they're suing Pal World for, they only patented this year. Still kind of fucked up. And it's basically they patented capturing creatures with balls, which is not something you should be able to patent. Honestly, you should not be able to patent anything when it comes to video game software. Even kind of software in general, I feel iffy about. Honestly, the whole copyright system, patent system, I feel like it's all kind of bullshit. And just capitalism run amok, especially with how long patents and copyrights last. Like, goddamn. And again, part of that's Disney's whole thing of, right, them extending patents for like 90-something years. But no, I guess Pal World, so it's come out on PS5, unless you're in Japan, in which case it has been delayed because of this lawsuit. Is this going to is the lawsuit going to completely bankrupt Pocket Pair, the developer? Who has no idea. Am I on Nintendo's side on this? No. But yeah, no, this is, it's all kind of fucked up. Monster Hunter Wilds, we saw some more of this game. Again, I know people really liked Monster Hunter World. I have never played it. Hey, this new one looks cool. You know, seeing this elder white dragon or whatever, wyvern, it looks good. And then finally, the end-off announcement, their one big thing, which I do think is actually a good thing, is Ghost of Yachty? Fuck, I watched a thing on how to pronounce it, and I've completely forgotten in the past, like, 3 days. Yoti? Maybe it's Ghost of Yoti. Either way, it looks good. It's from the developer, right? It's Ghost of Tsushima, and instead of just following up with Jin, it's 100 years later, and right, we've got a new protagonist on their new adventure. As I did not know at the time, right, when the show was live streamed, the new protagonist is played by Erika Ishii, who, if you do not know who that is, they are awesome. I know them personally from Dimension 20, Game Changer, World Beyond Numbers. They are really good. They're really funny. I'm pretty sure they're non-binary, which is why I'm using they just to be safe. They're fantastic. They do great work, and they're really funny. The Chaos Gremlin, totally. The Game Changer Survivor might be my favorite one. If you want to kind of get what their whole stick is, go watch that one, because that's just really good. And yeah, them playing off Brennan and Lou. And then, of course, it's also been a good week for them, because on top of this announcement, it was also confirmed, Misfits in Magic Season 2 premiered. I loved the original Misfits in Magic. Misfits in Magic got me back, after not watching Dimension 20 for a while, Misfits in Magic got me back into Dimension 20. Right, that, and then going from that into, I think, Court of Fane Flowers, into other stuff. I know there was other stuff in there as well. I don't know. Misfits in Magic was really good. I really enjoyed it. Kay in Misfits in Magic is great. Their whole experience, them and Evan. The season 2 did premiere. I have watched it. All right, I may not have finished Never Stop Blowing Up, but you better believe I watched the season premiere of Misfits in Magic, and hopefully I will be able to stay on top of it. We'll see, of course, but I hope we will be able to stay on top of it. So yeah, now I've seen a lot of awful takes on this Ghost of Yodi. I've seen, of course, there's all the blatant racism and sexism that, of course you have people like Asmongold coming out and being like, I'm a big stinky baby. Why is there a woman in my video games? The only woman I want is my mom, because maybe then she'll force me to clean my room and take a shower. Oh, I'm Asmongold, a big baby who can't handle women in video games. Cry, cry. Won't someone get me my mommy? Right, we've of course got all that shit. There's been, racism, sexism. I haven't seen too many people coming off about the non-binary stuff, but I'm assuming that's just because people are racist and sexist and don't know. That'd be my guess. Again, assuming I remember correctly, it's been a while and I don't remember exactly. But I'm assuming that's why that hasn't been brought up as much, but everything else has. And it's just... the internet fucking sucks. I hate everything about this. Yeah, no, all this fucking sucks. I hate the internet. The internet was a mistake. This is a good game that, like, they didn't even show that much, right? They just showed a few shots. I saw someone, God, it was probably Danny Mata, say that, oh, well, this is such a weird trailer. Like, why didn't they show off any of the combat or anything? And did they really have to? We kind of know what the combat's gonna be like. And even if there is some drastic change, they'll show us, right? This is a teaser trailer. They can tease stuff here that we can find out about later. Like, I'd be really curious to compare this to the Ghost of Tsushima reveal trailer, and to see how similar / different they are. Because I wouldn't be surprised if they're exactly the same. Just a bunch of good-looking background shots. I've seen some people complain that, oh, they didn't change enough. Honestly, I don't need them to change enough. I just need it to look good. And surprise, surprise, it looks good. Alright, I think the new character, they look right. I love their double sword thing, taming a wolf. That seems like it. If you have a wolf companion throughout this entire game, I think that'd be very interesting. But no, Ghost of Tsushima was great. This looks fine, right? Like, I have no complaints with this. I'm sure this will be great. I mean, it's Sucker Punch. Do I want a new Infamous game? Of course I want a new Infamous game. But if this is the direction they want to go, I have no qualms, because I know they'll do a good job. It's not that hard. So no, there's a lot of bullshit surrounding this game. Again, if an AI saw this all and decided that humanity should be erased, I wouldn't blame them. And yeah, that's where it is technically a great note to end the show off on. And the developers did come out at some point, and well, there was all this because Erica had all this controversy that I guess they've been preemptively blocking people on Twitter, which, fuck yeah. We don't need to put up with these people's bullshit, right? All these racists and sexists, fuck them. Just block them. Just block them, right? It's all the Chapel Ronin stuff is such bullshit. Like, I get what she's saying, Chapel Ronin, and it's just so much bullshit. Like, yeah, would some PR training help her out? I'm sure it would. But on the other hand, you know what? Fuck people, right? If she doesn't want to do any of that, if she just wants to tell people to make their own decisions, she has every right to. Oh, but she's famous. She has a certain higher standard that she must be held to. Why? Why do we have to hold famous people to this higher standard? Isn't this whole thing just kind of inherently bullshit? Isn't the whole celebrity culture thing that, we always criticize things like the Kardashians for just inherently shit? And why? It's all a fucking mess. And the whole Chapel Ronin thing's been a fucking pain in the ass disaster. I think it's all really dumb. And yeah, this is all just a fucking mess. But yeah, no. So I was saying before I got sidetracked there. The developers did say they're probably going to do more Ghost of Tsushima stuff in the future, right? Maybe they'll get a VR spin-off or something. That'd be cool. Because again, it's a good game and a good franchise. I really like what... Again, I loved the Infamous games, right? Literally the only time I've ever played a PS3 was to play Infamous 1 and 2. I never owned one, but I borrowed one specifically to play Infamous 1 and 2. And I played through both of those games in like a week, because they were really good, and I used to have the attention span to actually play video games. That was so long ago. But yeah, overall, the state of play, I mean, there were a few things, again, that, the Midnight Walk looked good, Ghost of Yachty looks good, Yoti. There's a few other little things here and there, right? Maybe I'll play Horizon, maybe I won't. I don't know, maybe. It was whatever. I wouldn't give it a high score. I'd probably give it like a 6. It wasn't made for me, but I'm not going to deny that there was nothing in here. Right? And honestly, Erika Ishii actually makes me even more interested in playing Ghost of Yoti than I was before. Because Ghost of Tsushima took me a while, and I never played any of the DLC or anything. So it actually might get me back into Ghost of Tsushima. You're just so fucking cool. So yeah, I think that's all I've got for the state of play stuff. Yeah, I'd give it like a 6, sure. It at least actually got me to watch it, unlike the Sonic Central, which I couldn't be bothered for. Next up... Next up, we have the new, so we got some information on Assassin's Creed Shadow, and basically Assassin's Creed Shadow has been delayed. Much to potentially no one's surprise. I didn't play Star Wars Outlaw. I don't know anyone who plays Star Wars Outlaw. I honestly have not played a Ubisoft game. The last Ubisoft game I played was, South Park: The Stick of Truth, which I replayed like a year ago, and that's only because I was kind of feeling nostalgic for like a Paper Mario game, and at the time, you know, the Thousand Year Door remake hadn't been announced yet. Of course, there was, Prince of Persia this year, which I did hear was actually really good, and I've been told by multiple people it was up my alley. At some point, I will borrow a copy and will actually play it. I just don't know when. But yeah, no. So Assassin's Creed... So I guess Star Wars Outlaw was pretty poorly received. I guess it was pretty buggy and broken at launch. So, as a result of all these problems... That, to be fair, that's every Ubisoft game. Right, Ubisoft is kind of like Bethesda, where every game launches with bugs and problems, but that's just kind of how they are in the modern AAA gaming space. Right, nothing really new or shocking there. Are we entering a dungeon? Yeah, we're in a dungeon now. So they announced, right, because of all this backlash to Star Wars Outlaw, they've decided that even though the new Assassin's Creed game is done, and it has also been surrounded in a myriad of controversy, they are going to delay it. It's being delayed until February. You know, their main thing is that they're going to be doing bug fixes and patches, you know, hopefully getting things ready for when the game actually releases. Of course, the other reason is there's a lot of games coming out in October, you know, the Dragon Age is the big one I can think of. I'm sure there's other stuff that I can't think of. I thought Avowed was coming out this month. I guess I found out Avowed has also been delayed until February. I had no idea Avowed had been delayed. But yeah, sure enough, Avowed has been delayed until February. So that's another game it's going to have to compete with. But yeah, no, they're just delaying it. Hopefully get a more polished game. And as part of this is to, like, get people to not cancel their pre-orders. Anyone who pre-orders gets the first DLC of the game for free. Which, I mean, it's something, I guess. I don't know, don't call me too hopeful about these sort of things. But I guess that's something they're doing. Also, as part of this delay, the game will now be launching on console and PC on the same day, whereas before they would be coming out at separate times. And I guess that makes sense, you know, if you're gonna delay it. It's just... Man, I've seen a lot of people take this as like a sign that this might be like the end of Ubisoft, that Ubisoft might actually be in a very bad place after Star Wars Outlaw, and as a consequence of this, they're gonna, you know, having to basically delay their next game, or, you know, delay Assassin's Creed to hopefully not get in more trouble than they already are. And while I'm not 100% bought on that narrative, I can kind of see where that's coming from, if I'm being honest. I mean, Ubisoft is... For years, Ubisoft was trying to get itself sold off to, you know, PlayStation or Xbox, or just anyone who would have them, and that seemingly just didn't work out. Like, they were trying, but clearly that didn't work. So now, here we are, where Ubisoft is, you know... one of the big failures in video games, even though they're still making like a shitload of money because they're fucking Ubisoft, right? And even though, you know, the company always says like, oh yes, we've gotten better, we've reformed, they really haven't. Ubisoft is still the same shitty company it was a few years ago, so nothing on that front has exactly changed. I mean, sure, some people have been let go or, you know, moved around. But no, Ubisoft is still Ubisoft. Nothing has changed. They still suck. I mean, do I kind of want the demise of Ubisoft? I mean, there's a part of me that, you know, wouldn't mind. But also, you got to think about all those people who are just doing their jobs, who, you know, have been pushed out of the company for any myriad of reasons. That, you know, are just trying to make good games. Like, it really fucking sucks for those people. Ubisoft just sucks in general. So yeah, that's that. Just wanted to talk about that one real quick. The last thing we got, the last news story is Minecraft Live. Of course, Minecraft Live was earlier today. I did kind of watch it in like a half-awake stupor. The one thing I did not... They said during the announcement thing that they were going to talk about the future of the mob vote. Did they ever talk about that? I was going through the showcase in my head and looking at other people's reaction. I don't think they said a single thing about, like, because they had hinted that they were going to be replacing the mob vote with something. Makes sense, you know, the mob vote is universally disliked. Replace it with something else, I get that. But I don't think we actually know what they're replacing it with. At least that's the vibe I got, is that they didn't actually say what they're getting rid of it with. My idea for what Mojang should do to get rid of the mob vote is that they should do Lego Ideas. So if you've ever been to Lego's Ideas, basically people are able to create their own Lego sets, pitch them to Lego / the community, and if enough people vote on them, then those Lego sets can become official, right? People put votes throughout the year. Lego themselves narrows it down to like 46, and then of those 46, you know, maybe like 3 or 4 get picked every year. They might even do it twice a year. And then, of course, people who did not get picked, they can always resubmit. They just have to get the 10,000 votes again. I feel like Minecraft should do that. Have a website where people can pitch their ideas to Mojang. Maybe it doesn't always have to be a big feature. You know, it could be small stuff like, right, like I feel like they would have a rule that like you can't create a new dimension. But like, oh, here's my new bear mob. Here's some new mob. Here's a new redstone item. Right, here's my auto furnace. And then just have people take those ideas, vote on them, Mojang narrows it down to a few, and then at Minecraft Live, they announce which one they picked, they make the announcements twice a year, right, and it has to stay reasonable and everything, but I feel like that's a really good idea. Mojang just ripping off Lego ideas. Because Lego and Minecraft has always kind of had this comparison. And I just feel like that would be a lot of fun. That'd get community involvement in, right? The fact that the community has to vote for these new features. And because they're community made, right? There's totally a way to do this, right? Minecraft ideas that I think people would love. And, right, you get these features on a regular basis. They get added to the new updates. I think that would be great. But no, instead, we have nothing, right? They got rid of the mob vote. Maybe they're going to replace it with something, or maybe they're just going to do nothing. We have no idea. Actual things that did get announced. So one of the things that Mojang has made clear recently is that instead of doing like their yearly big update, or I swear it used to be 2 a year, I swear we used to get an update every December and every like June. We used to get 2 major Minecraft updates a year. Yeah, no, nowadays we only get 1 update in the summer. But basically, Mojang's getting... again, there's all these things about how Mojang is lazy, how it takes forever for Mojang to add a single feature. We've talked about how that's not true, and how Mojang's big problem is mostly just a PR one. But basically, as part of their, attempt to fix their brand image, instead of doing these 2 big updates a year, they're instead just going to do small updates every few months, hopefully leading towards the big updates. So we got our first 2 small updates. They're called game drops, as they're calling them now. The first one is called Bundles of Bravery, and it finally adds the bundle into the game. And then the second part is that it adds hardcore mode for Bedrock Edition. Hardcore mode is something I have personally, outside of like watching other people do it, I was a big fan of Achievement Hunter's You Dead series. But outside of like other people doing hardcore modes, I've never personally been a fan myself. I've never really put much time into hardcore modes. But I guess I kind of get the appeal. I don't know. It's not something I'm going to mess with. Bundles is cool though, because bundles is something so part of if they were to do this whole like Minecraft ideas thing, one of the rules would have to be that it would have to work across all versions of Minecraft. Because the bundle was one of those things where Mojang recognizes, hey, we have an inventory problem. And then they just have no idea how to fix it, because you can't add new buttons to the game, you can't change up the structure of how things work because of like the mobile editions, right? Any feature you add to Minecraft has to work on every version of Minecraft. It is a real problem, right? It's a real problem that Mojang has that, makes their jobs a lot harder. But one of the things I will say is that, bundles are an idea. In theory, they're a good idea, because inventories do get cluttered with a lot of bullshit. Right, they brought up in the showcase that, like, back in the day, if you were to just go underground and mine straightforward 64 blocks, you just have 64 pieces of cobblestone. Nowadays, if you mine underground, you get cobblestone, you get some andesite, you get some diorite, you get some... what's the third one? Granite? Whatever the third one is. Right, Minecraft has an inventory problem. And while bundles aren't an end-all be-all solution, right? Because sometimes, in my opinion, the easiest solution was the simplest one. Just give us more inventory spaces. Bundles are at least a good half step, right? They expand our inventory. There's a part of me that wishes the bundle hold 3 stacks instead of 1, but it will clear up some inventory space. It no longer uses rabbit leather, which is nice, and now uses just plain... It's literally a single piece of leather and some string. That's cheap, that's affordable, because not everything has to be a big deal. You can add things that are easy to acquire. And of course, the big solution to the inventory problem is the shulker boxes. But for early game, yeah, a little bundle that holds, 64 different types of flowers in it. That works. That works. I'll be honest, there was a part of me that did not expect to see him this early. I thought of course they have to give us the sword fighter mode at some point, but I thought we were just going to find his sword on the ground. I was not expecting to actually, straight up fight him here. I already see how to fight him. We have to distract him with one enemy and sneak up on him with a different one. I think that's how we're going to do this. So yeah, I think bundles are a good idea. I'm glad they're finally in the game. Hopefully they work well. Right? Again, they announced bundles back in like 2020. It's been like 4 years of beta testing. Again, some people thought they were never going to come out. And because again, they still haven't, the fletching table still doesn't have a feature in the game. And that was like 2018, if not earlier. So that's the first update, right? That's basically 1.20. Is it 1.21 or are we on 1. I think it's 1.21.1, right? It's the first game drop, a small update, right? It's not 1.22. It's not a big update. It's just a small update that adds in bundles and hardcore mode to Bedrock. That's a fine small update. Then we found out the second small update doesn't have a name yet, but it adds in a new area called the Pale Garden. So I've already, of course, with the second small update, again, 1.21.2, I've already seen a bunch of criticism that, oh, a single developer could do this in a day. This is just Dark Oak Forest, but with texture changes. Oh, wow, we've had mods like this since, like, 2018. Or since, not 2018, 2011. I've seen all these complaints, and guess what? I don't care. Mojang, I think everything in this update is a good idea. I think it's cool that we're getting some of this stuff. I think the new Pale Garden, I like the white textures. I like I think the new vines, the new moss blocks. I love how the new pale moss carpets, like, climb up the walls. That's really cool. I really like that. The trees are not just like, hey, we took the original dark oak texture and grayscaled it. They have a brand new texture. They look different, right? The one thing I do hope for the Pale Garden that they do is I want them to make it so that when you're in the biome, it has fog. It greatly reduces your visibility, right? Like, if you've ever seen that, like, classic Herobrine screenshot where, like, like Herobrine's at the edge of the render distance, which isn't too far from the player, that's what I want. I want it only while you're in this biome. Is there fog? Does it greatly lower your render distance? Like, Mojang has clearly been leaning into the horror elements, which literally nobody complains about. Okay, people, of course, do complain about. But I've seen in the past year all these, like, hey, Minecraft, but we added horror mods. And it adds, like, a Wendigo and, like, the Shaking Man and whatnot, right? Horror mods are, like, a big thing in Minecraft. Within the past year, like, they've had, like, a resurgence in popularity. And if Mojang, they've had things like the Endermen have been in the game since, 2011. A few years ago, they added the Warden, who I think was a fantastic addition. And Mojang doesn't get enough credit for how good the Warden actually is. I think this new mob, the Creaking, that leans into this horror element, another good idea. Just decrease the render distance. The idea that you'll see this thing barely on the edge of the fog would be horrifying. I also kind of hope that if they're going to do that, don't let kind of like how in the underground cities, other mobs don't spawn. Don't let mobs spawn in this new biome. Only the Creaking. Because I think that would be even more horrifying. Because a lot of what they talked about in this trailer was sound design, how they put a lot of effort into the sound design of both the biome and the new mob, and I think that's all great. That's definitely something that the Warden excels at, right? The Warden has a lot of good sound design. I love the ancient cities. They do not get enough credit for how good they actually are. So yeah, color me impressed with all of this. I have no idea what I'm doing here. So yeah, our new mob, the Creaking, it's a Weeping Angel. They literally make a reference to the Weeping Angel, which Weeping Angel is one of those classic Minecraft mods. Like, I'm sure I could Google Yogscast Weeping Angel and find, like, a 12-year-old Minecraft mod showcase video from the Yogscast doing a Weeping Angel mod. Like, it's a classic thing. And I've seen some people mad about that like, oh, mods did this 20 years ago. Why is Mojang only getting around to it now? And I'm like, no, it's actually really cool that Mojang's getting around to it now. Like, I actually want the, like, it was a cool classic mod idea. It's actually cool that Mojang's actually going to put it into the game. Because, sure, it's always been a mod, but now it's in the vanilla game, and that's just kind of neat. And for all those people who bitch and moan, like, oh, well, mods have already done this. Oh, a mod designer could do this in a day. Then just play the fucking mods. Why the hell do you care what the vanilla game does if you've just had these mods the whole time? Stop bitching and moaning and just play your mods like the good little sheep that you are. You know, let the mod makers be your bitch. Or you become the mod maker's bitch. However it goes. I just think this is all dumb, and Minecraft fans, I use that in quote, are the most whiny, entitled little cunts. And yeah, even though this is, this isn't 1.22, this isn't the next big update, this is just a small little update, a game drop. Yeah, they're treating this like this is the next big update, right? Like, this is the only thing. God, again, this is what makes me think it's not a game problem that Minecraft has. It's a PR problem. This hasn't really changed my thoughts on that, right? I still think it's primarily a PR problem. But yeah, I think the creaking looks interesting. Because if I remember those classic Weeping Angels mods, you couldn't, like, kill the Weeping Angel with a sword. You had to, like, use a pickaxe or something. So I think it's good that in these that this creaking, as it's called, can't be killed by stabbing it. It instead, when you hit it, it, like, leads a trail of particles to its heart. And it's only, right, you have to go mine out its heart to kill it. That's interesting. That adds depth of gameplay. I like that idea. If you use Silk Touch on the heart, you can then spawn the creaking in, like, your friend's base to annoy them. Yeah, that's fantastic. Because one of my problems with the, Warden is if you mine up the shulk sensors and the shulk screakers, whatever they're called, with Silk Touch, it doesn't spawn a Warden. Right, the only thing the shulk shriekers will do is they'll make the annoying sound, but they don't spawn the Warden. And I kind of feel like either they should spawn the Warden, or they should at least have the darkness effect, because it'd be really fun to troll your friends with that. I've already used the shulk sensors to troll a friend. I showed this off in stream a long time ago, but we did when the update came out, when 1.20 or 1.19. I basically went into the shulk shrieker, right? I took a bunch of sensors and just hid them all over my friend's base, and then he responded back by covering my base in tulips. It was a lot of fun. But right, if I could have, like, fucked with his house by spawning a warden in his house, that would have been so much more funny. And the fact that, yeah, we can take these creaking hearts and put them in our friends' bases to fuck with them. That's a good idea. I like that. I think the Weeping Angel mechanic is fine. Right, that if you, it's the opposite of the Enderman, because that was what the Enderman was compared to, was that, hey, if you looked at it, then it would attack you, but right, as long as you avoided it, you'd never have to worry about it. I think the Weeping Angel, it's a fun effect. I think this works. I think gameplay-wise, attaching it to that external source is a good idea. I hope the Creaking Heart does something. I know not everything has to do something, right? Like, that's just a general video game rule, especially in Minecraft, is that not every feature in the game has to do something. But I kind of, right, like, outside of being able to spawn creakings at your friend's base, I kind of hope there are other things you could do to it. Like, I don't know, maybe it's used as, like, a crafting thing, or something. Right, you can use this heart to do... You can use the creaking heart to make, chunk loaders. Because that would encourage people to go to this new biome. Because, right, like, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you're adding this new biome with this new hostile mob that's exclusive to the area. But there's not really, right, like, there's no incentive for a player to actually go there at the moment, unless you're trying to get, like, the new wood. So having, like, hey, you could use, like, 8 of these hearts to make, oh, we can hop in the pot. That's cute. You can, to, like, make, like, a little chunk loader or something like that. That, I don't know, that's just an idea. It should do something other than just be the heart. I know Silk Touching them, it shouldn't be too useful, because Silk Touch isn't super duper... I mean, it is common, but it's not super duper common, right? Like, but it'd be neat if it did something. But honestly, if it did nothing, I guess I'm not complaining too much. I want something in this new biome, right? Give me, outside of getting, like, an achievement, give me some reason to go to the Pale Garden, outside of a new wood type. Because, like, I never go to Mangrove Swamps, because I just never use that wood type, right? And I think cherry blossoms are cool, but, like, I never, right, like, unless you're going out of your way to look for specific woods, right, there's usually very little reason to go to a new biome. So yeah, give me some motivation to go to this new biome. You know, I think it's fine. Again, for a small update that's, you know, not meant to completely, like, change the world, just be a small update, I think it's fine. I'm perfectly fine with it. I'm not blown away, but I'm not super disappointed. You know, I'm not going to go protest Mojang, burn their effigies in the streets, right? Mojang being lazy has always kind of been bullshit. Because, again, a lot of people don't realize that, yes, mod makers can add this stuff in a day. But first, I've seen mods that are buggy, that are glitchy, that will crash the game, that will corrupt world. Mojang can't have that. If they're going to add something to the game, it cannot have any of those issues. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that it has to work across the Xbox One version, the Xbox Series S version, the Xbox Series X version, the PS4 version. There's now a PS5 version, the Switch version, the Windows edition, the Apple edition, the Google Play edition. I'm sure that's 9 different editions on top of vanilla. So that's 10 in total. Mojang, right, when mod makers make something, it just has to work in one version. And if there's a bug or a glitch, who cares, right? It's a stupid mod. Unless, of course, they are taking things seriously, which some mods do. Whereas when Mojang adds a feature, it has to work across 10 versions of the game. And there might be some that I'm just completely forgetting as well. That's the other thing. Right, there is definitely a difference there. But I do hope, right, if we're getting these small updates, I do hope that in the background, Mojang is working on something big. I know I've been saying this for like a year now, but I hope that behind the scenes, Mojang is working on some sort of big update. Be that an end update, or, you know, the thing they've been hinting at for a while now, that brand new dimension, right? The Ancient Cities has that giant portal in it. Clearly that's going to go somewheres. If Mojang has silently in the background been working on this new dimension for years now, then yeah, that'd be really cool. Of course, we'll actually see. But I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful, right? I kind of hope that some of the stuff in that Poison Potato update was actually for this new dimension, and they were just like, oh, let's put the unfinished version in this new right, in the as the April Fool's Day snapshot. So that'd be cool. But again, that's just conspiracy theory. I also think that potentially this new update, I worry that we're not going to get major updates. Like, it feels like now major updates might be every 2 years. Because this new Pale Garden stuff, I expected in around December. Like, the bundles we might be getting in like a few weeks. The bundles of Bravery. But the Pale Garden might not be until December at the earliest. If not January or February of next year. So I hope they get one out like every 3 months would be really cool. I don't want every 6 months there to be just a small update. Try to get something small out every 3 months. And then every year or two get out a major update. That's the goal. Again, this is a free game, or not a free game. These are free updates for a game you paid like $24 for. Potentially like 15 years ago. I know I bought my original copy of Minecraft back when it was, like $15-20 back in, 2010? So that was a long time ago. Right? Things are very different now. Of course, I've bought it on Switch. I bought it on PlayStation. Right? Things are a little different. I bought it on Windows at one point. No, maybe I didn't. Maybe they gave me the Windows version for free. I kind of don't remember. But right, things are different, right? These are free updates. That's the other thing. Is that right? Like other games, they do paid updates, or they just never update at all. Right? Many other games just never update. Whereas Mojang consistently puts out free updates. But yeah, if we have to wait another year for like a brand new dimension based on the ancient city, okay. I just hope there's something. But yeah, that's Minecraft Live. We also got a few things about the movie. They showed off a clip. It still looks bad. The one thing I will say... Okay, I did that by complete accident there. I meant to summon a bat, and I just pressed the wrong button. The one thing I will say is that when talking about the movie, they said that, we've seen many people, right, when they were trying to justify why it's not animated, they were like, we've seen many Minecraft animations for many years now, but we've never seen, like, a live-action thing like this. That's why we did it. And you know what? Fair enough. If they want to waste all their money on this big-budget Hollywood movie, then yeah, they can totally waste all that money. Right, the crew members and the actors, they got paid. Whether the movie succeeds or fails, they got paid. It's more, right, you're gonna spend all this money and you're gonna make a shitty movie. Like, okay, I get it, right? Live action Minecraft, someone's gotta try it. It's just once the movie comes out, we'll know if that's a success or not, and if anyone should ever try that again. Which, I mean, at the moment it looks like that, no. Nobody should ever try making live action Minecraft again. And I mean, I know people like Corridor Digital took their stab at it like 15... Again, somewhere between 15 and 10 years ago. But still. Right? Things are very different now. Things are definitely very different. Oh, look at that. So yeah, that's the first dungeon. But yeah, so they showed off a clip from the Minecraft movie. We see Jack Black make a sword. Then, Brian, right, Jason Momoa's character comes in. He makes a bucket, which, why isn't just one bucket? Why is it 2 buckets? That's so weird. Like, at least have something from actual fucking Minecraft. Whatever. But he does that, and it's just doesn't look great. But it's what they're doing, so okay. And yeah, there were a few other things. They did a community segment. I'm pretty sure they talked about, like, Minecraft Dungeons, or that one Minecraft Unite the End, or whatever the fuck it was called. They talked about some other things. Doesn't matter. Don't care. Oh, we got some bismuth. So yeah, that's that. Anything else from Minecraft? I don't know. We'll just have to kind of wait and see. So that takes us to WIBE. So what have I been enjoying? We'll talk about Echoes of Wisdom last. I'll save it, right, my thoughts on it so far. We'll talk about the other things first. Weird food stuff wise, I tried out Sonic Burger, right? The Sonic Drive-In has a new... It's not a witch shake. It's like a witch slush, or... It's their Halloween drink. And it's a green apple slush with ice cream and caramel bubble. Like bursting bubbles or tapioca ball. Whatever the fuck they are. They're caramel flavored. And honestly, I liked it. I like the slush with a scoop of ice cream in it, or with, a little bit of the soft serve. I actually think that tastes very good. Like, that's one of the best things you can get at Sonic. I like apple flavor. I like caramel. I genuinely was really impressed with this. Again, I'm totally biased, because while I do not like Sonic food, I like Sonic drinks. And yeah, this is totally right up my alley. It's a good drink. I would recommend it. I think the soft serve, the slush, the little caramel bubbles, it all worked together very well. Yeah, color me having a good time with that. I believe the best way to have it is just to stir it all up, right? Usually the soft serve's like on the top. Just kind of mix it all together, and like it makes like this new texture that's like it's like a thicker slush, but not like as thick as like a shake. And it just, I just really like it, man. Slushes with ice cream are really good. I wish they were like a permanent menu item instead of like they only do. I mean, I'm sure you could ask for it. I tried to go check what's in that cave. We'll have to head back later. I tried to I wish they were more of like a permanent thing, because every time I've had one, they've been really good. Yeah, they're basically desserts, but God, they're good. So that's that. Did I have anything else? I did. I don't know. Did we talk about? I had Jack in the Box did a witch shake as well. They did like their Halloween thing. We might have talked about this. It was ube flavored. It was ube something. Also not bad. I don't know if I'd like fully recommend it or anything, but yeah, not bad. But I had that like a week or two ago. The only other thing is Taco Bell has a new hot sauce. They've teamed up with somebody to do like a new hot sauce or something, and I went to go try it and they were sold out. So that's off the table. I don't know. I wanted a Doritos Locos taco. What can I say? And yeah, I think that's all the foodstuffs I have. Actually, that's more than normal. All right, 2 things. But yeah, games, I have not seen any movies. I know The Wild Robot came out. Didn't see it. Still haven't seen Beetlejuice. Still haven't seen Transformers. I guess I'm just not in the mood to go see movies right now. I know that's weird. Part of it is because I'm so busy at work. But I just have not seen any movies recently. Because, like, I think the best time for me is to go see it, like, right after work. But I've just been so tired recently. I haven't seen Beetlejuice, I haven't seen Transformers, I haven't seen The Wild Robot. Like, if these were Marvel, right, like, the only thing I've been able to bring myself to actually go and see is a Marvel movie. And those are fucking Marvel movies, like, God. I don't know, it could be worse, it could be like in the old days, when I was seeing a movie every week, and so I would have saw that stupid Am I Racist movie, or that stupid Ronald Reagan documentary, or feature film thing. What biopic? I guess biopic is the word I'm looking for. Right, because like, I've seen, the first 3 God's Not Dead's movies. Because I was seeing a movie a week. You know, Movie Pass was a thing. And those movies fucking suck. And there's a new one, and when I saw the poster for it, I was like, oh, thank God I'm not seeing a movie a week. Oh, thank goodness I'm not getting paid for that. Because these movies are fucking awful. Trust me, I've seen all 3. I think this is the 4th one. This might be the 5th one, honestly. I feel like the 3rd one was a long time ago. I wouldn't be surprised if this is the 4th one, or the 5th one. But those movies suck. Do not watch God's Not Dead. They're literally political propaganda. Right, seeing that, like this new one especially, it's like, it's a politician who's trying to outlaw religion, and good old Ronald Rump is gonna come in and save Christianity, even though Donald Trump's an atheist. But of course Christians are too stupid to realize that. So yeah, God, I'm so glad I don't go see those anymore. The perks of being out of college and not having that job anymore. So yeah, no movies. Haven't seen Agatha all along. Still, I just can't bring myself to get the motivation. I know I should watch it. I know I should watch that Penguin show. There was a 3rd thing that I still I want to watch Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself. That I do want to go. That's a Netflix show that I've just heard great things about, and I'm really curious about. I just haven't sat down and watched it. The only game thing is I've done, I platinumed Astrobot. I have the full platinum in Astrobot. I'm really glad I have that. Honestly, it wasn't the only, after just on a casual playthrough, right? I had to go back and get I was missing 20 robots. Maybe even less than that. I think it might have been closer to 17. So I had to go back, replay a few levels to find the missing robots. There were a few portals I was missing as well. So I had to go back and do those. I beat the game. And I think I talked last week about doing the hard level. If you get all 300 robots, you unlock a really hard level. And I did the really hard level, Actually, it only took me like 20 minutes. Honestly, there's one of the levels, I think it's the square level, where you have to jump to the beat, where it's like a rhythm level. That one took me way longer. That level sucked, because I have no rhythm. The final level, nah, it took me like 20 minutes at most, 15 lives at most. I'm not going to say 10, but I would guess like under 15. I did not think it was that hard at all. Like, I've seen people say it took hours. Nah, it did not take that long at all. I would say I can do it again right now, but I probably couldn't. So yeah, that was that. I did that. And then after that, there were a few achievements I was missing. Most of them involved, like, collecting things. Like, so spoiler alert real quick, I guess. There was, like, an achievement to collect, like, in the Ape Escape level, to collect all of the butterflies. Or to collect, like, a golden butterfly that I just had no idea existed. There was an achievement in the Uncharted level to find the 3 golden eggs, of which I had already found 2, so I just needed to find the 3rd one. And then, yeah, there were a few other ones like that, where I was just, like, missing 1 or 2 things, collectible stuff, and so I did those. There were a few, like, I had already gotten the get rolled up in the Katamari one, but it was like that, like, you have to interact at the crash site with some of the robots. I got all the skins, got all the costumes. Overall, yeah, it's a good time. It is one of the best games this year. Of course, we'll see how Zelda stacks up, because as you know, I'm a little biased towards Zelda. You better believe I am. Hey, look, it's our Wanted poster. So yeah, we'll see how it stacks up at the end of the year. But yeah, no, Astro Bot is fantastic. It is a must-own PlayStation game. If you have a PS5, it is a must-own, in my opinion. Is it the only must-own? No, probably God. I would say Astro Bot, God of War Ragnarok. Maybe. Oh God, Spider-Man 2, maybe. Horizon Forbidden West, maybe. I'm sure there's some other big PlayStation game I'm forgetting. Miles Morales. I would probably say Miles Morales. I really liked it. I think it's easier for me to recommend Miles Morales over Spider-Man 2. Even though I did really like Spider-Man 2. Right? I don't want to sound like too down on that. I did like Spider-Man 2. It's just I feel like more people are disappointed than that. So yeah, I played that, and then of course I don't think I played any other Switch game this week. I know I started A Little to the Left's DLC, and I just haven't gone back to it, but I think that was last week. We might have talked about that last week. Echoes of Wisdom, so far I am enjoying it. It's different. Like, yeah, Zelda plays differently. It's more puzzle focused. So we just unlocked where they just gave us a choice. We can either, right on the map there, we can go down or we can go up, right? It reminds me of A Link Between Worlds. Because that's kind of how, right, in A Link Between Worlds, you start the game, you do a little adventuring, and then you do the first dungeon. Then after that, the game gives you a choice. You can either do Tower of Hera, or you can do the Lakebed Temple. Or I admittedly cannot remember what the Lakebed Temple was called, but it's something like I know the top one is Tower of Hera. So I feel like this game kind of works the same way, where right it's now where we did the first dungeon, we did the Eastern Palace, and now it's giving us a choice. We can either head over to the desert and do the Desert Palace, or we can head up to the Zoro's area and do like Jabu Jabu's Belly or whatever. So that's kind of, it reminds me of A Link Between Worlds, because that's just kind of how A Link Between Worlds worked. And honestly, kind of looking at the map kind of does look like A Link to the Past's map. So maybe it's not actually that dissimilar to A Link Between Worlds. I don't know. I like A Link Between Worlds more than I like Link to the Past. So it's doing something all right. It's doing something good. But so far, I am enjoying it. You know, it's, again, I know we're just starting off. There's a part of me that thought this was going to be like full open world, kind of like Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom, just, you know, in a 2D space. No, so far, right, this does feel more like a traditional 2D Zelda game. Of course, gameplay-wise, no, this is very different. I know we got Link's sword. Honestly, you know what it kind of reminds me of? Having all these different monsters at our hands, it kind of reminds me of like a Pokemon. I know I'm not the only one saying this, But having, like, seen the comment and thinking about it and now having played it, it's kind of like, right, like, this is us trying to catch this Peahat, which is like a new Pokemon, and we're using our Axe guy, who is also a Pokemon. Right? This kind of, like, if Pokemon made a game like this, where, you know, you were collecting little Pokemon that you could summon to fight other Pokemon, basically literally just copy this game, but with Pokemon, I feel like it would actually all work really well. Like, I legitimately feel like like the Pokemon Company could just copy this to make a Pokemon puzzle game, and it'd work great. Yeah, that's, like, it doesn't play like any Pokemon game I've played before, but the being able to summon echoes of monsters, really, that's what it does feel like. The dungeon was okay. It was very much a first game dungeon. It was very linear, no backtracking. I think there was only a single key. So I was not too impressed with the first dungeon, but it's the first dungeon. To be fair, I don't really care for, like, the Eastern Palace either. I'm sure they'll get more creative as we go on. But other than that, no, I am enjoying this game. The level design is, you know, fine. You know, going into these areas, going into the dungeon. I feel like the rate at which we're acquiring new stuff is decent. Right, like, it's not giving us everything, but it's giving us more than nothing. See, that monster gut looks just like the monster gut from Link Between Worlds. I'm sure they're not exactly the same, but they look similar. You have the little camps like you did in Breath of the Wild. It's clearly the culmination of everything Zelda's been for the past 10 years. You've got elements of Link Between Worlds, you've got elements of Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. The only thing really that's not here is, like, Skyward Sword. But that's fine, because, you know, Skyward Sword is... Outside of, like, the sailcloth, we don't really think about Skyward Sword. I like the controls, right? Being able to press Y to just instantly summon something is nice. Playing as Link at the very beginning actually felt really nice, right? Being able to just jump with one button. Because mostly, Zeldas usually don't have jump buttons. But when you play Link's Awakening, you need the Rock's Feather for, like, 90% of that game. I think in the playthrough we did a few weeks ago, I only took off the Rock's Feather twice in the entire game. So just having the Rock's Feather as, like, a permanent item that we can always jump on, that's great. I'm glad we always have that. It just feels more convenient. I like the spinning, right? We can twirl, and it kind of feels like rolling in Ocarina of Time, where it's just, like, the faster way to travel. I don't know if it actually is the faster way to travel, but it feels like it. But yeah, no, I feel like everything's working so far. There are elements of the new Zelda game. Like, I feel like this is trying to be your happy medium. Like, if you didn't like all of the departure changes that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom make to the traditional Zelda formula, I could see someone really liking this game. That, right, the changes they've got here, that again kind of feel more like a Link Between Worlds, I think are good. Of course, it's not one-to-one the same. Again, it's more of like a monster creature summoner game than it is like a traditional Zelda game. But Zelda games have always been about puzzles, right? Puzzles have always been an important aspect, and I feel like we have more creativity now in how we solve puzzles. So yeah, overall, I am enjoying this. I'm having a good time here. We'll hope it lasts. So look at this. This is literally the Swamp Palace from Link to the Awakening, right? The one island surrounded by a lake. That's literally just the Swamp Palace. Are we in the Link to the Past world? Is it? I mean, there's no obviously entrance here. Is this Link to the Past / Links Between Worlds? I mean, they're basically the same map. It kind of feels like it, you know? Oh yeah, we can summon one more now. Oh, we didn't even need that. But yeah, no, I am enjoying this game. I'm not gonna act like it hasn't blown my mind or anything yet, But as a start goes, yeah, it's fun. It's traditional Zelda with some of the new mechanics. I think everything's working fine. Yeah, I don't know, we're gonna have to keep playing in it. We're gonna have to put some more time into it. Obviously. But yeah, so far I'm having a good time. Octorok. Anything else I gotta say about this? Or just stuff in general? I was really hoping the Piat was just gonna get everything. That it was just gonna go around in a full circle and get all the enemies. I like that you can target, right? Targeting is good, and the fact that you can target an enemy, and then the creature that we summoned will directly attack it, that's good. I guess let's head down. Yeah, this is totally a link to the past map. Anything else? I legitimately cannot think of anything else. I haven't played any games, watched anything. Did I even watch any YouTube videos this week? I don't know, it was such a busy week for me. Like, I was so stressed out on Wednesday. Did I even watch any YouTube videos this week? I don't think I did. No, I got nothing. Oh yeah, Archie Game replayed Minecraft Story Mode, and Shafrillis put out a 3-hour video on the who is the favorite Mario character that I started watching before I realized it was 3 hours long. Oh shit, yeah. I got like 10 minutes in and was like, oh wait, this video's gonna go on for a while. Oh shit. So yeah, I guess that takes us to our outro. So what else are we doing? Honestly, we'll be back with next week, maybe with Splatoon, maybe some more of this. I actually wouldn't mind doing like another dungeon in this game or something like that. Alright, I'm having fun just kind of messing around. We are not doing this whole game. At most, we'll do one more dungeon and I'll call it. Or maybe we just won't do anymore. You know, it's totally up to my discretion. I did check out so I was doing a lot of stream tests just to kind of get some recording tests done. And I did play a little bit of Fall Guys because I played Splatoon for like 2 hours during my stream tests. And I was like, you know what, let's try something. I'm not sick of it, but let's just do something a little different. So I played a little bit of Fall Guys. I think I only got 1 win, so it wasn't anything that special. Man, I do kind of... Maybe we'll check out Fall Guys finally. I know I've been talking about it like all month, but I am kind of curious to give it another shot. The fact that games now only have 32 players in them is just kind of like... It's kind of sad that we went from full lobbies of 60... now down to just 30. We've come a long way since then. Yeah, so we might do that. We might... If at some point before the end of the year, we will get to that. And then, yeah, that's really all. I don't really have anything else planned. You know, we're just going to continue on. Oh, shit. We lost a 20. We didn't die at all this stream. That's nice. I'm sure that's not going to last, but... Yeah, I don't... We'll play some more Splatoon, we'll play some Fall Guys, we'll do other things, I'm sure. I don't know, we're in October, Mario Party at some point. I don't know if we'll actually stream that. I know Mario Party comes out. I do want to play Mario and Luigi Brothership, but I don't know if I will. I don't know, I'm thinking about it. Alright, I think that's where we're going to call it. Let's call it there on the map. Yeah, let's save. Alright. So yeah, I think that's where we're gonna end off. So I hope you all enjoyed. Stay tuned for more. Till next time. Peace.